Hello, folks, and welcome back to the first episode of my crazy campaign with the Soviet Union. Um, the the reason why I'm recording this again is because in my first attempt, I think I really messed up the AI because at some point I did use the tag command to switch to Germany to give Germany a small boost in manpower as well as some resources. And when I switched back to the Soviet Union, well, I mean, I guess that the German AI was switched off because I reached July of 1940 with Germany still awaiting to do the Anschluss of Austria. And I was like, okay, let's start everything from scratch. Also because I may have done some mistakes, let's say, in the setting up of my leadership points, as I only had, I think it was 19% of officers in the summer of 1940. And I also did some mistakes in the production because by the summer of 1940 I barely began building up my famous defensive line. So yeah, I decided let's do it again from the beginning. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so as always, economic spying for the IC efficiency for production, long-term investment, railway level 1, yes, mixed support, okay, send help, yeah, we send troops, okay, the guide is awesome, growth threats, and okay, strategic resources, yeah, I always go with, I prefer a more balanced, sane approach, because I think it has the lowest maluses. I could go with this one, but honestly, I don't like the minus 5% of research efficiency and the minus 20% of officer recruitment, so I go with this one. And later backstory, okay, as always, scientist for the research efficiency bonus, left home for the IC efficiency bonus, read books for the leadership, businessman for the IC efficiency, and I go with the militant crowd for the manpower modifier. And okay, let's set up the difficulties now. Okay, as always, the annual national focus, I like to go with building up the economy. And okay, then okay, very hard. I just set up the support choices now. Okay, and now I did some changes to this custom event. You may all be familiar with this one now that I will play with historical order of battle for Operation Barbarossa, and then I added this. Yes, of course, challenge accepted. And now I added this, the Dwina-Dnieper fortified line. It was during the cold night of January 2nd, 1936 that TF-41 and Joseph Stalin agreed about the final version of what became known as the Dwina-Dnieper defensive line. By making good use of the geography and topography of the western regions of the USSR, the two great Soviet leaders, yeah, because I imagined to be a great Soviet leader in this campaign. I am really flying with the fantasy when I was preparing this event. Concluded that the construction of a heavily fortified defensive line following the riverbed of the Dwina and the Dnieper rivers would have been sufficient to halt the advance of any enemy army advancing from the west. Regardless of the cost in economical and human resources, TO-41 and Stalin insisted at the Politburo that the construction of the Dwina-Dnieper line should begin as soon as possible. On the very next day, the NKVD began massive deportation of all the most skilled workers from all across the Soviet Union, packed like wild animals into railway convoys headed westward. The loss of this skilled personnel not only caused serious setbacks to the already weak industrial branch of the Union, but it inevitably triggered quite some general dissatisfaction amongst the local inhabitants. To compensate for this enormous sacrifice, TO41 developed further plans to promote the growth of many important urban centers, such as Kibyshev and Yerevan, by creating new job opportunities and financing local universities. Now, what's behind all this fancy description? Um, yeah, I added some few things basically. Um, Out of curiosity, I wanted to check the population um, of Kibyshev, and because when I was checking the major urban cities, I was like, why there is no manpower in Kibyshev? And so I was like, okay, let's check something, and I found that roughly between 1933 and 1939, there were almost 240,000 people living in Kibyshev, and so I added this. Here says 241. This is actually 2.41, let's say, manpower units in Kibyshev, and there's 0.05 leadership points as well. And in Yerevan, I found that I think it was in 1936, the let's say the Soviet government opened up a new University of Medicine, and that's why I also added this 14 manpower here and this 0.02 leadership point in Yerevan here. And in Stalingrad, I also added some. Let's say I mimicked again the opening of a new, I think it was a technical school for something, and again 15 more manpower and 0.03 leadership points. Then I added some base hospitals, rail terminus, and urban expansions in Moscow, Leningrad, Stalingrad, and Kharkov, and also 5 energy points in Taifan, just to mimic the existence of coal mines in this area. And okay, so the party gets more organized, stuff like that. And I also assume that the construction of this Dvina and Dnieper defensive line following all this area here would have caused, let's say, quite some death people, which are represented here by the loss of 250 manpower points, 5,000 supplies and 2,000 money. And most importantly is this the price of building fast. I added this to mimic, as I said in the description, the loss of the skilled workers from the industry, and this will basically give me minus 50% of IC, which is really a lot, minus 20% of manpower, 25% of revolt risk, which is gonna be crazy, I fear, and minus 5% of resources to mimic the huge investment that the Soviet Union has to do in order to build up this mighty defensive line. And all this will last for basically two years, 740 days. And yeah, that's it. So to speed up, let's say, the whole process, I prepared this. I left only the industries, the heavy industries, and the fortresses. I will have to manually build all the buildings to speed up the resource extractions, also to compensate, let's say, for this huge loss of resources and IC as well. And concerning the technology, I also would like to set it up with you guys. okay, own spice priority, counter-espionage, for sure. And also, one thing that I would like to play around with are the politics, because um, actually I never paid attention to this one, but I found that maybe that there could be some interesting options here, because I would replace Mikhail Kalinin with Clementin Voroshilov, which will give me a plus 10% of supplies production. And I think this is important because the more supplies you can get out of the industry, the less IC you have to invest in supplies, which means that the more you have more IC available for um, um, for building other stuff. And as well as I would like to replace my leader, Joseph Stalin, I'm sorry for this, with Molotov, because he will give me 5% of IC and also 2% of IC efficiency for production. And let's also have a look at the technology. The the Soviet Union is really in a bad shape because you don't have anything like the basic education investment, stuff like that, and it's something that it's a must, I think. And okay, giant infrastructure, all of these I want to research them as soon as possible. um, let's wait until we lose the negative modifiers of the Great Depression effect. And also politics. Let's see. I would stick with basic mobilization because of the supplies, again, production and the money. Even though I have a huge penalty on IC, and again basic training because here I get plus 2.5% of supply consumption, which means extra supplies to be produced from my industry, sorry. Yeah, okay. Okay, excellent. Yeah, yes, do my worst. Okay, now, yeah, as I said, this one's supply transportation, yeah, why not? Medicine, yeah, it's always good to have it. Industry, these three are a must to again increase the supply production, and then all of these, yeah. Heavy armor forging, yes. Welding, so here I already have the cast armor production, armor construction. I'm not really sure that I will keep the cast armor just because it's already researched here. I think I will go with the welded armor construction. I know this is very anti-historical, but I prefer the welded armor. So let's go with the steel electro welding technology. Yeah, radius, construction, yeah, industry, and yeah, this one, why not? Road network, airport, yes, this is a must. And port engineering, because I want to get the seaport capabilities for the extra percent in resource production. Airbase, yes, because I will have to use them. Okay, infantry, yes. Garrison, yeah, why not? Yes. Security units, artillery. You see, the Soviet Union is really lagging behind in technologies. It's really awful. And anti-tank, nothing yet. Pre-war armor construction, okay. Prototypes, yeah. I would go with, basically everything, because I will also invest in naval bombers and flying boats, as well as strategic bombers, just to bomb the shit out of Germany maybe one day. Bomb load, incendiary bomb, air systems, yes, avionics. I will not touch the naval branch because I don't need it, and then I will go straight to the command to upgrade this, and then deep battle. I would say all of these. Cavalry exploitation, yes, because I will use a lot of cavalry in my campaign. Superior firepower, yes. Great war analysis, rolling artillery barrage. Befehltaktik. Because with the Germans you have the Auftragstactic, which increase the toughness, so the less damage you do on the offensive, while here you get the defensiveness, so the less damage you do on the defense, which could be useful, let's say. Sorry, I just closed my window. And brigade strength, I want to play with everything maxed out. And operating, this is again a must, which is gonna be quite interesting, I would say. And airborne units, yes, and mountain troops as well. Aircraft, I forgot about these. Heavy bomber, and then I like to do these three. Interdiction, battlefield, strategic bombing efficiency, forward tactical air control, and strategic air command. I would go with both, and that's it. I have 108 now research projects going on, and I would say let's wait one more day, and then I will switch from espionage to research. So I think I think it will be funny now to play with this. I will stop this episode here I will stop it here, and I will record in a very fast forward mode all the years leading from January the 2nd until, let's say, 1939, and then I think I may show you the liberation of Poland and the Winter War in a separate episode, because it will be just boring to watch me let's say messing around with my units to fight partisans and stuff like that. So again, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for waiting and supporting me, and see you all in the next episode. I hope it will come either today or tomorrow, so very, very soon.